What a fancy schmancy place we've got here. I mean, it's pretty nice, right? Got to be a lot of wealthy people around here. It's the kind of place you dial 911, you get a Mercedes mechanic. And I don't know if you noticed it, but driving up here, they had a little dig, archaeological dig on the side of the road. They're looking for a $20,000 home. Well, I don't know where they put you guys up, but they put me in a hotel. Seems like a nice hotel. I can't really tell you the name because it rhymes with the word Jilton. I don't know if that means anything to you. And I got in rather late last night. They said they were sold out, so they had to put me in the honeymoon suite. So I spent the night with this couple from Kansas. And, you know, you really shouldn't use the do not disturb signs there because apparently the do not disturb signs translate to the help as wait till he's naked, then walk in the room. Well, the pillows are kind of nice. That was the nicest thing about the room, the pillows. It's going to make my suitcase kind of tough to close when I leave, I can tell you that. And the thermostat, they only had 2 settings for it. Arctic Circle, hatching baby chicks, that was it. So, you know, you would think that they would understand a little bit more about customer service here, because I called down to the front desk, got a little plumbing problem. I said, I got a leak in my sink. And they said, go right ahead. And since the hotel is, you know, here in the southern part of the United States, I had a choice of wake-up songs that I could wake up to, country western songs. So I had a choice between You Put the Hell in Hello and the Good and Goodbye. Get your tongue out of my mouth, I'm kissing you goodbye. Or if your telephone don't ring, you'll know it's me. And speaking of telephones, I forgot to mention this before, but if you have a cell phone, turn it off, put it on vibrate, put it in that special place where only you can enjoy it. If you have a pager, it's 2015, throw the pager away. You don't need the freaking pager anymore, okay? Well, I've done a lot of shows recently with a lot of interesting people, not quite as interesting as you folks, but I did a show with engineers. And I love to work with engineers because usually I have to have a personality rental program available for them so they know what it's like to actually have a personality. And I did a show for Citibank. I love bankers because they are without question the stupidest people on the planet. They are. Think about it. They leave their vaults wide open. They chain the pens down in the lobby. Seems like they're protecting the wrong kind of things. And Citi, because it's a global bank, opened up a new innovation. I don't know if you've seen it yet. It's called the Jewish Mother ATM machine. Before it gives you any money, it says, so what'd you do with the last $20 I gave you? And I hate to admit it, but I do show. If you got money, I'm ready to work for you. It doesn't matter to me. So I did shows for lawyers. I mean, that was really pretty slimy of me, I understand. So, you know, lawyers are not my favorite people. You know how many lawyers it takes to roof a house? Only one if you slice them real thin. And you know what happens to lawyers if you give them Viagra? They get taller. Actually, 3 doctors were talking about who they like to operate on the most, and the first doc says, well, I prefer to operate on accountants because you open them up and they've got the same number of organs on each side, makes it easy to figure out what to do. And the second doc says, well, you're right, but I like to operate on interior decorators because you open them up, they're color coordinated in there, everything works really well. Well, the third doc says, you're both right, but see, I actually prefer to operate on lawyers because they have no spine and the head and butt are interchangeable. And, you know, I didn't do a show for plumbers, but I had a plumber came to my house to fix a leak in the sink, and it was ridiculous. He was there for 25 minutes, and he gave me a bill for $350. I said, $350? I don't charge that, and I'm a doctor. He says, neither did I when I was a doctor. Okay, so let me tell you something. I brought some toys with me, some of my business tools, in quotes. These are tax deductible as far as I'm concerned. So here's what you do. If you want to cause some trouble in the workplace, here's what you need to do. Go buy yourself one of these at Radio Shack, $29.95, and start walking around making announcements. Attention, employees, this is a practice announcement. In the case of a real announcement, I would tell you what to do. But for right now, keep doing whatever it is you seem to be doing. Works great with engineers as well. Engineers, we've got the lab surrounded. Come out with your calculators up. I go into Kmart, I decide the blue light specials. I need a price check at a supermarket? No problem. Hey, that price on bologna on aisle 6. I go to the airport, I fly a lot. Every once in a while my flight could be sold out. This could be a problem unless you have one of these. Gate 413, there's been a gate change announcement. I mean, flight 413, there's been a gate change announcement. And my favorite time to use this, if any of you in the audience or these people, I love you, you're beautiful people, do not come to my house wanting to pray with me on Saturday morning. Because if I can get to this before that Jehovah's Witness gets to my door, it fundamentally changes what's going to be happening at my door. Attention, Jehovah's Witnesses. This is God. Get the hell away from this house. You've never seen Jehovah's Witnesses move that fast. All right, if you don't like this, I got other things. This is great. And particularly if you work with young folks, because they don't even know what the hell this is. Only the older people know what this is. You've heard of the cordless phone? This is the phoneless cord. So go into your attic, find one of these, take one end of it, put it into your clothing right here, and strap this puppy right in here. And walk around periodically, and when you're at a meeting or when you're passing by and go, hello? Personal call? Naval intelligence? All right, no, forget the naval intelligence. Personal call, and if there's a young person there, if you do it without laughing, because if you're laughing, it's not going to work well, just give it to them and go, it's for you. I guarantee you, they're not going to know what the heck to do with this. It's my way of saying, hey, the old and evil, we can still do it. All right, I got more. Save this for when it's a really bad day. When it's a really bad day, get yourself some of this police tape. Where are you going to get it? Go to a crime scene. I don't know why they put the tape up after the crime happened. Not going to do any good. They need it before the crime happens. Take some of this, stretch it across the door to your office, take chalk, draw an outline of a human being. When people come by and go, oh my God, what happened there? Tell them that was the last person that didn't do what I told them to. All right, you didn't like that? I got more. Here's one of my favorites. They tell you, this is a stress reducer. So they tell you, put it in your car. So instead of having road rage, all you do is, instead of holding up one finger and saying you're number one in my book, just do a little bit of this. If not that, and if not that, little machine gun fire. Don't waste this by leaving it in your car. The next time your boss calls up and wants to know how a certain project's going, just go, they've got me surrounded by gunfire, boss. As soon as it stops, I'll get back to you. All right, maybe some of you won't do that. I got one more for you. Here, every one of you finds yourself in this situation where your boss is an idiot and he comes and says, I need all this work and I need it done by tomorrow. And you've never known what to do? Simple thing. Just take this magic wand, start waving it over the work, because that's how likely it is that it's going to get done. And if it's a big job, you'll need a bigger one of these. Since this is a spouse show, and your spouses are here with you, I thought we'd talk a little bit about men and women here. So how many of you have been married a long time? How many of you are married? Okay, anybody happily married? A couple, good, that's good. Who's been married a long time? By a long time, that means you're on your 4th bottle of Tabasco sauce? Okay, I can wait till you get some of these if you need to. If you've been married a long time, you know around 436 of the argument that never ends? There's the argument where 2 minutes into the argument, neither one of you has any idea what you're talking about, but one of you has just called the other one's mother a hamster. You know this argument? Let's be candid. There's only 3 things couples ever argue about. That's it. 3 topics come up in any conversation. That's it. So from the men, the number 1 topic of argument is, okay, you're not sure? Let me help you out. It ends in X. It's got 3 letters. It's not tax. Okay, sex. Men, they're always thinking about sex. Ladies, money. So sex and money are the ones that we both know. What's the 3rd thing we argue about? Or I hear children, I hear in-law. Okay, the 3rd thing we argue about is Frank Sinatra. And by Frank Sinatra, I mean my way. I want it my way. Most of the arguments we have at home are essentially about whose way things are going to be. And I'll tell you where this problem got started, because, this problem's been going on for a long time. Somewhere, several 100,000 years ago, some idiot got the idea that men and women could live in the same place at the same time. This is where this all got started. You see, the problem is men and women have descended from 2 completely different species. The women have descended from the human being species. The men have descended from the porcine species, which means they are essentially pigs with shoes on. And they have a completely different way of looking at things. The women, because they're more enlightened, tend to be a little bit more emotional. The men tend to be a little bit more logical. Let's see if this sounds familiar. So, ladies, I don't know why you do this, but you do it. You'll come home at some point to this logical idiot that you have at home, and you'll be upset about something. You go, ooh, you'll be upset. And what will this moron do? Well, he'll do 2 things. One, more insulting than the next. And by the way, guys, I'm not trying to insult you, because you're just trying to do the best possible thing you can. The first thing a man will do when his wife or girlfriend is upset is he will logically explain to her why she shouldn't be upset. And ladies, that's exactly what you were looking for. You were upset. You wanted to be put down by this moron. That was your goal. That's what you were asking for, right? And then, if that doesn't work, because clearly it's not going to work, what will the guy do? He will logically offer you the solution to it. Because that's what he thinks. If you've got a problem, I need to solve it for you. Neither of which you want. Guys, let me tell you something. If you just listen and you say, hon, sounds like you had a bad day, listening in the kitchen will pay off in the bedroom later. Take my word for it. But ladies, here's what I want you to be able to do. If somebody is upset, or if you're upset, and your husband comes over and tries to help you, I'm going to teach you a phrase to use now, which is going to work real well. See, psychologists a long time ago made up a phrase. We didn't tell you what it meant. We used the phrase, thanks for sharing that with me. You know what that means? See, thanks for sharing that with me is actually secret code for eat dirt and die, okay? So the next time he tries to solve your problem, just go, thanks for sharing that with me, hon. And then he'll think he's done a good job, and then you could go and talk to your girlfriend and find out what you really want. All right, so let's talk about some differences between men and women. These are critical differences. I've studied them. You may not have. One of the big differences is which way the toilet paper is mounted on the roll in the house. So the ladies wanted to come flying and over the top. The men wanted to come whipping out underneath. Am I right? I mean, that's what it is, right? Why do the ladies want it to come flying out over the top? Well, first of all, the toilet paper has a pattern on it. They consider it part of the art and decoration. So if they bought art, damn it, you're going to see it. Let me give you another reason. See, the ladies, I don't care I'm not trying to be disgusting now, but whatever is going on in the bathroom, they know exactly how many squares they will need to deal with that situation. So this is a 4 square, this is a 6 square. Men, because we're pigs with shoes, we have a completely different orientation. Why do we want it whipping out underneath? So it comes out quicker. We wrap it around our paw, and then after we use it, frankly, we don't care where it goes. So this is not about toilet paper. It's all about power and control. I'll give you another one. The remote control. Who holds the remote control? Big issue, right? Women want to see what's on TV. Men want to see what else is on TV. A man can go through 93 channels in 43 seconds and determine 90 shows he does not want to see. That's the most important thing to him. Men and women greet each other differently. That's right. See, men, when they like each other, because we're aggressive kinds of creatures, basically will greet each other by saying the single most horrible thing they can to another man. So a man will scream across the room, Bob, you bald pervert, how are you? Ladies wouldn't do it. Ladies wouldn't scream across the room, Sally, you water-retaining cow, how are you? Just a major difference between men and women. All right, I got a couple more. No woman on the planet would ever wear the same clothes 2 days in a row. Because not only she, but every other woman in the world has memorized what every single woman in the world has worn. So to wear it twice in a row would be unacceptable. A man could wear the same clothing for 7 days in a row, and not only would his friends not notice it, the odds are he wouldn't notice it. All right, we're talking about clothing. Let me give you one more. When a lady takes her clothes off at the end of a day, she will take them up and she will look at them and decide which pile they go in. So this goes to the dry cleaner, this is dark, this is white. A man decides whether he's going to wear his clothes again or not by a simple test. He will take his nose and he will smell the armpit of his own clothing. And if he's not sure, he'll go over to his wife, he'll go, hon, what do you think? You think I could wear this again? And this is when, ladies, you turn to the sky and go, how did I find their king? All right, let's try it another way. Men and women argue differently. See, if a man picks a topic to argue about, he's actually going to stay on that topic. For ladies, anything that has ever happened in the history of the world could be part of this argument, right? Men hate that, all right? What about directions? This is my favorite one to talk about. See, men are programmed to refuse to ask for directions. A man will continue to go straight ahead. He will go around the earth if he has to, rather than ask directions. The only way you know that he could be possibly confused is he will turn the radio lower, because apparently it's impacting the sonar he has in his head here. Men do not ask for directions. Here's my favorite one out of all, my favorite one. Somewhere when girls are little, the elder women in the tribe take them away and teach them how to do something. They teach them how to take a towel where they're coming out of a pool, out of a shower. They teach them to take a towel and wrap it around their body, stick the end of it and go ding, and the towel will stay in place. I don't care if there's a hurricane. I don't care what's going on. There's not a woman in the world that will not be able to tie a towel and have the end ding stay there right there. If a man takes a towel, and most of the time he's only trying to wrap it around the bottom half of his body. I don't care if he uses nails. I don't care if he uses a staple gun. I don't care if he hires two short people to hold that towel up. If anywhere in the world something moves, you're going to be having a conversation with Big Jim and the twins. It'll be Little Jim and the twins. And if it's really cold, maybe only the twins. But I think you know where I'm going with this here. So I have marital therapy available for any of you that would like it. 6 months of short therapy will be down the drool on the side of your chin, and we'll go from there. In closing, I want you to join me on this crusade because, I've done shows in 49 states. Okay, which state? The 6 people in South Dakota haven't been smart enough to bring me there. If any of you from South Dakota, please bring me there. I don't even care. I just want to make it all 50. But I've gone to 49 states, and I live in hotels so much that I finally figured out something that I want to encourage each of you to do. Join me in this campaign. There is one thing that you will get in a hotel that you will not get anyplace else. Now, when I ask people to guess, some people say, well, the Bible. Well, there are Bibles in other places like churches and bathing kits. You know, the one thing they give you in a hotel, I've never understood this, they give you a sewing kit. Now, if you've looked at your hotel, at the sewing kit that you have, there are 2 buttons in the sewing kit that do not match any clothing on the face of the earth. 4 pieces of thread so ugly you wouldn't sew them on an open wound if you had one, and 2 needles so dull that if you tried to sew something, it would be really difficult. Do me a favor. When you get back to your room tonight, find this sewing kit, and I want you to do something with the sewing kit, but I want you to do something completely different than what they expect or that you've ever done before. I want you to take this sewing kit, I want you to take those 2 buttons, and I want you to sew them onto the lampshade next to your bed. Now, don't think of this as vandalism. This is not vandalism. This is actually property enhancement. Let me explain. Let me explain what. Any of you that are experienced hotel travelers know that when we go to a hotel, the last thing we do is we go around the room, we shut down all the lights. Maybe we leave the bathroom light so we don't go pee in the closet. So we leave the bathroom light on, we take the remote control of the bed with us, and then we leave that light on right next to our bed, and that's where we go to bed. I want you to imagine the following scene. This person could have had a good day, a bad day, any kind of a day, and I want you to understand that the last thought they're going to have on their mind right before they go to sleep, hundreds of people, if not thousands of people, when they want to shut that light, are going to look over at that lampshade and go, what the hell are those buttons doing there? And I want you to realize I go to sleep every night knowing that there are hundreds, if not thousands of people every single night responding to that just because I've done. Do me a favor, join me in that crusade. I want to thank you for bringing me down tonight. Have a great one. We'll see you later. Thank you.